Long day at work. I went got in at 11, 1 hour early, and got off at 8. When he supposed to go in at 11, I was supposed to go in at 12, but my supervisor asked me to come in because I guess we didn't make numbers on Friday. We had to make numbers today. So in the video, I'm going to be talking out about how I'm successful at selling, what made me successful at selling. So I have I only have 1 year experience in retail, which I was working at American Eagle back in 2019 in Fort Cavazos. But this is my second job outside of the military where I'm working retail sales. This is much different in clothes, but it's kind of the same concept, but I sell fragrance. So I'm a representative for John Paul Gaultier, Carolina Herrera, men's and women's, and then Paco Rabanne, men's and women's. So today was my best day. Today was my 30th day I've been working at Dillard's, and I did, a quota was 30 sales, 6,800. I did 34 sales from 11 o'clock to 8 o'clock. But I'm going to get into why and how I'm able to sell that many, and I'm going to use my techniques and what I use to sell. So first thing I use to sell, I don't pressure the customer. Like, they'll come in, it's families, men and women walk through all due diligence every day, all day. They come in, I kind of read their body language. If I'm right there with the blotters in my hand and they see me and I look at them, a lot of them walk away and they try to avoid us because it's all they know who's selling the fragrance. We're dressed in all black. So and when I'm reading their body language, they'll try to walk away from me. They'll walk to the left or walk to the right, and I won't chase them. If they come towards me, I'll give them the blotter and tell them what fragrance it is, and that's that. Sometimes they say no thank you, sometimes they take it, and it's good if they take it, because 9 times out of 10 they probably gonna come back or ask you what fragrance is it because they like it. You don't pressure them, you just let them smell it and keep it moving. Pass out as many blotters as you can. Refill your blotters, you spray it again, give it to them. You got to give it as many blotters of your fragrance on your line as possible, so they know, they'll know in their mind, this is John Paul Gaultier, this is Paco Rabanne, this is Carolina Herrera. You want them to come back to your line, not the other people's line. So number one, you don't never pressure the customer to buy. You just let them smell it, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't want to buy it, they don't want to buy it. Number two, what I use, knowledge based of the fragrance. So you got to know the name of your fragrance, the price, and the notes that's in it off the bat. Of course, if you just starting there like me, you're not gonna know all of them, but I'm a fragrance guy. I know pretty much all the prices, the names, when they started, launched, the notes in it, base notes, top notes, mid notes, and I can use that to my advantage because I'm an expert in the field of knowing the fragrance, and it just gives a customer give them at ease, and they know what you're talking about when you're selling it to them. They know you're not trying to BS them. But it takes a while to learn it because you got to go online, Fragrantica, you got to see what notes are in it, plum, raspberry, patchouli, coconut, rum, but it's just different stuff that's in the geranium that makes up the fragrance. Some customers like to know what's in it, some don't. Most of them don't want to know. They just like to smell it, and then the price range. If they can afford it, now then they'll buy it. Number three is what I do is letting the customer smell the fragrance. If they're sitting there and they walk past and then they'll just grab it, and I'll just say, do you need some help? And I'll just have blotters in my hand. I'll spray it for them, because most of the time they don't know how to spray it. They spray it too close. Sometimes they spray it too far away, and it won't you won't be able to smell it the right way. So you just got to spray it about 2 to 3 feet from the blotter, air it out, and then give it to them and let them smell it. Some customers like to smell it on their skin because it smells different than sprayed on the paper, and it does. I let them spray it on the skin. I let them spray it on the neck, clothes, and the blotters to see if they want to smell it. and they be like, okay, this smells good. I want this one. And then once they say I want this one, I end the conversation. I grab the fragrance and I take them to the counter to the sales rep, and they buy it. I don't try to talk them into it. I don't try to talk them out of it. I talk just enough to get them to buy it. And once I'm talking, I don't talk too fast, too slow. I talk just enough, and then I let them choose. I let them try to smell it. I let them think about it, and I don't over pressure them. Tell them about it, and that's it. I just sit there and I just let them think, and then what they want to do. And then once they be like, once they certain they got it, they like, okay, I want this one. I grab it, give them some free samples, and I walk them to the sales rep, and I'll buy them. And I thank them for buying the fragrance. And I always tell them the fourth thing. I always try to make it personal and tell them my name, so when they come back, and once they come back, they know who they're talking to. They know who they spoke to. And that's a good thing, because you want to try to make it personal, because you don't want to always try to make it to where you just want to sell. You just want to sell. You got to make it personal, that you care about the customer. You're selling them confidence. You're selling them the way of life, the lifestyle, the history of the fragrance, why our fragrances are better than others. And I always tell them your name. I work this time, this tomorrow. You can come back and see me. This is my name. I work for Carolina Herrera, and then you can come back and see me, and I'll sell you some more fragrances. And then maybe the fifth thing that I do is that I don't get angry, or I don't try to pressure them. I mean, because either they like it or they don't. And then what I like about our line is that Carolina Herrera, Paco Rabanne, and Jean Paul Gaultier are worldwide known, and a lot of Hispanic people buy those fragrances, and they know what it is. Once they come in the mall, they always go to Jean Paul Gaultier, or they go to Carolina Herrera, or they go to Paco Rabanne, because they already know. They smelled it before, and they come in there and they know what they want. So it's easy that way. I could just bring it to them. I walk them over to their line, and I let them smell it, and they pick it, and they be like, okay, I want this one, or I want this one. They always show me on their phone or Instagram or Facebook, and be like, okay, I heard a lot of good things about this one, and I want this. I'm like, okay, the Jean Paul Gaultier Le Parfum, the Jean Paul Gaultier Elixir, the Jean Paul Gaultier Original Lamel, and this is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau. They be like, okay, I want the Le Beau, and I grab it for them, and then they'll buy it, and then I just move on to the next sale. But you gotta just be swift, be knowledgeable, be approachable, have charisma, make them smile or laugh, but just don't try to pressure them into it. And they're gonna come back. They gotta come back through Dillards. I mean, that's why I don't really sweat it too much. But I think today was my best day. 34 sales. That's about what, $4,500, close to $5,000. But yeah, it's a team thing. Like you got to help out. Sometimes I give some of my sales to my teammates that don't have a lot, and then we pretty much work together. But again, I work for Carolina Herrera, Paco Rabanne, and Jean Paul Gaultier. So those are my 5 reasons or tips that I'm sharing with y'all to help me sell in Dillard's.